Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Liberian Bitcoin Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Forum. My name is BN, and we are just so excited to have you on. If today is your first day joining us, I encourage you to hit the like button on the video, and I also encourage you to subscribe to our channel so that when we post future videos, you'll be the first one to get those notifications. A few weeks ago, we had a lot of conversation about money. We've talked about inflation. We talked about the economy, and we also talked about investment and the importance of investment, especially in an inflationary system where the money power actually depreciates over time. So, what happens if you save $10,000 right now? 30 years from now, that $10,000 will still be $10,000, but that $10,000 would probably have a purchasing value of maybe $3,000. So the money is losing value over time. So investment is that hedge where you put your money into to actually maintain your value or go against inflation or possibly even gain more money, right? On this channel, we don't really give financial advice. We don't tell people where to put their money. We do specifically just educational content and basically encourage you to tap more into investment. But you have a mind of your own, so you can do your own research and figure out what you want to do. But this video will be about blockchain. Now let's tap into it. What is blockchain? Blockchain is a set of protocol or encryption technology that stores data on a distributed network. Now, a distributed network is a network where the ledger of that network is distributed across hundreds and millions of computers all over the world. So the network isn't really centralized. That's the important word you have to understand in this whole blockchain and crypto space. Blockchain focuses on decentralizing systems and institutions. So what that means, instead of having the records and the documents and all the data of the network stored in a specific location, which makes it really prone to hackers, right? Those people that hack computers and hack data and systems in order to get some sort of money out of it. Blockchain makes it difficult for hacking because the data is decentralized. All of the content, the ledger is decentralized. It's spread out across all the participants of the network. So when there's 100 million people connected to that network, that data is spread upon 100 million people. Everyone has a copy of it. So that gives the blockchain some level of transparency, right? The fact that everyone can know what's going on within the ledger. So everyone has the ability to find out a transaction being updated or what transaction has been updated. And if the updated transaction was authentic, everyone can figure it out because it's right in front of everyone. So the blockchain is very transparent. And that's why there's been so much conversation about this blockchain thing, right? So a lot of technologists see the blockchain as sort of like a class of information technologies, a new form of information technology, right? And some people sees it more as Web 3.0. It's like the internet on steroids, right? So now you have to understand that when the internet started, it was just internet 1.0, where things were pretty basic. You know, you could go on the internet, you could just pretty much search things, and that was as much as you can get. There wasn't any videos, there wasn't any sort of like complicated website, there wasn't any blogging going on, none of that, right? You could just go find simple information, type it in, and see what you get. And now with the network effect of the internet, now so many people have joined the internet and have been able to build a lot of content on the internet. But that wouldn't have been done without like some sort of improvement within our computing power and also within storage capacity of data. All that contributed to what we see now. We call it Internet 2.0, where now we can post videos on the internet, we can create content, we can create, we can send messages, we can interact with websites, we can buy things. There's e-commerce. There's so many things on the internet right now because of that progression, right? Now, technologists now are saying that the internet is going to a different level of Internet 3.0, where instead of having just institution controlling things, obviously your website is controlled by an institution, even though it's on the internet, we're going to see more decentralized systems. So most of the systems will be run by code, or all of them will be run by code. And there will be no specific place or specific group of people that control the flow of things, right? And this is where the war is going to. And for example, your car, instead of having a car, you will not have access to a car. A car will pretty much just show up, and whenever you go on your cell phone and decide to get one, and most likely there will be probably no driver that's coming, right? So it's going to be like very macro economies too that are really going to help build this whole Web 3.0 thing, right? So the Internet of Things, obviously you probably have heard of it, where things will be connected to each other. Your fridge in your house might be connected to your grocery store, whoever is providing you groceries, and your fridge might be able to order food when it realizes that you're low on certain type of food. And it's also based on the frequency of how many times you go in the fridge to get that specific type of food. So your fridge will probably know that, hey, he likes this drink, he likes that drink, and it knows the amount of quantity to even order for you and when to order this quantity. Your car, if you own one, might have its own account, and that car might even go and do like some sort of Uber work for you and pick up and drop off people, and those folks are going to pay into your car's account, and that car is going to use that account to get like mechanical services without you even being there, right? So machines are going to be communicating with machines. It's going to be big data thing here, right? So on the blockchain, there's so many things that can be built on the blockchain. Smart contract can be built on the blockchain, where two people from different parts of the world who barely know each other can have some sort of financial interaction and contract on the internet, right? On the blockchain, that is transparent, that is easy to use, and that is fair, right? So those are the systems that are going to be created. Instead of having like some kind of escrow account, the contract would be set up in such a way, hey, if these things happen, this is what the system should put out. After, when these inputs are in, this is the output that comes out. So it's a whole revolution of things. And I think Africa and Liberia specifically can really benefit from some of these systems. One of the things I was thinking about when I think about blockchain and some of the problems that blockchain can solve in Liberia would be the identity problem. Identity is so important in Liberia because, everything is built on identity. We have to know who is who, right? If we don't know who is who, how can we really authenticate who people are? So having a digital identity for our people will really help with like creating some sort of like social credit scores and things like that can basically be interoperable with like some sort of multi-factor authentication process, where your government ID is connected to your passport is connected to your date of birth, and that's connected to your ownership of what land you own in the country, connected to what property, what house you own. It's connected to everything, right? So for example, if someone is been caught up in some sort of corruption, right, it's pretty easy to figure out what this person owns. and how the law can take its course. So blockchain will really help us in that process, even when it comes to like agriculture and it comes to logistics and when it comes to politics and voting. Those are things that blockchain can really help Liberia with. And I'm so excited about this. Um, just a little bit into the mechanism of how blockchain works is so, like I mentioned in the first few sentences that I said, is blockchain is a set of protocol, right? Or some sort of encryption of like some technology that stores data on a distributed ledger. Now, because the ledger is distributed, all of the participants on that ledger have to validate the authenticity of that transaction or that data. Now, what happens is the blockchain actually, the network actually um, put out a very difficult computational puzzle. And all of the computers compete who solve the problems, right? Who will solve that problem. And whoever solved that problem, um, they can put that problem in a block that is generated. And all of imagine all of these transactions are in some sort of a chain, like it's pretty linear, right? And that transaction goes into a block. And what happens is the blockchain has a coding mechanism within it that compresses all of the data within that box and come up with some sort of like hash identity for it. And that information is also connected to the hash before that block. So creating some sort of chain connection that the current transaction is connected to the most recent transaction, which is connected to the most recent transaction, which is connected to the most recent transaction, making it really difficult to actually alter any of the transaction. Doing so means you have to technically alter the entire transaction or the entire blockchain, right? Which is not possible. It takes a lot of computing power to do so. I know blockchain is a very complicated topic, but I think it's worth the interest to actually really look into blockchain and see how we can solve some of Liberia's problem with blockchain. This is the word of the internet, and Internet 3.0 is coming up. I want Liberia and most African countries and pretty much all of African countries to actually benefit from this technology and be able to create systems and create institutions that are run by code. So we don't have to rely on the trust of some sort of centralized entity. We can rely on the trust of code. We can rely on the trust of mathematics, because mathematics don't like you, mathematics don't hate you, mathematics is just math. So I want you all to kind of pay attention to what's going on with some of these emerging technology and start to figure out how can we build or develop systems on those technology that can actually help within the development and eliminate corruption from our society. Like I said, thank you so much for watching this video. This video is for education purpose only. This is not a financial advice. I encourage you to do your own research. And I'm a member of the Liberian Bitcoin Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Forum. We're trying to build a community where we can educate people to know what investment is, to be motivated about investment, because in this world we live in, people, money is not power. Information is power. Thank you for coming. See you in the next video.